Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. My name is Crown, and today I'm going to read you some very interesting stories that I hope that you're gonna love. And now, without further ado, let's go! Hello, this is a long post, so buckle up for the ride. Myself and my wife had just had our second child and moved into a duplex in an amazing neighborhood. Even had its own playground. We moved in and greeted the neighbors, a bunch of younger people, but they seemed okay. The first day after moving in, we find that they are gone and they have left their 7-year-old on a school day outside our door with a bag of goldfish and a note asking us to watch him while they went out. Cue CPS call number 1. The neighbors and I got along really well. The old guy next door repaired bikes for a hobby, and the next door neighbor did woodworking and would always come over to see the kids and send his grandkids over to play too. They warned us that our upstairs neighbors were trouble. Constant traffic going in and out and parties every single night. This was 110% the truth. It got to the point we couldn't sleep at night and we had multiple altercations to the point it was full-blown yelling matches. The landlord was useless and would do nothing to get rid of them, so I bided my time. Eventually, one night they came home in their red Mazda 3 and it was destroyed. They must have hit someone and ran. So I called the RCMP to let them know, as at the very least I figured they would get in deep trouble, but oh man, I had no idea what I had just unleashed. Turns out the douchebag had a warrant out for his arrest for drug trafficking. He got hauled away in cuffs at night, and entitled woman too got a visit from the CPS again, as they left their son home alone again, and this wasn't once or twice, it was every single day. So my wife went digging for names and found the mother on Facebook. Using public record searches, we found out that they owed Easy Home nearly $48,000 in assets, as they had taken off from the original address with all of their furniture including TVs and a huge sound system. 48 hours later, the sheriff was there with a box truck emptying their house. Took the beds, couches, TVs, the annoying subwoofer system, kitchen sets, and even the dressers. CPS came shortly after and removed the child from the house. I didn't enjoy seeing him taken away, but they never fed him, and he was always in the same clothing and it was falling apart. We went out of our way to make sure he had full meals because we're not gonna let a kid starve. The douchebag went to jail for drug possession. He was out on bail and had the drugs in a dresser they took. The entitled woman 1 went to jail for assaulting the sheriff, and entitled woman 2 actually had a happy ending. As far as I know, after she lost her son, she went through multiple programs to clean herself up and started working to provide for her son. Ran into her a couple of years ago and she thanked me for what I did. I got pro-revenge on a drug dealer and his girlfriend and thankfully helped someone get on the right path. Yesterday, June 21st, was National Go Skate Day. As such, a lot of skate parks around the states were hosting competitions for various reasons. Parks were overcrowded, people who don't normally skate were getting out, typically holiday stuff. This shop I've been trying to get to, Carry My Skateboard, happened to be hosting one such contest at one such skate park. I was going to tell you guys which, but then I thought someone might go to the park and look for the kid I'm writing about. Anyways, this park has some of the notoriously worst skaters. Absolute jerks. They cut each other off, yell at each other, fight, and if the shop I wanted to see was not there, I would never skate in this park. So being me, I decided to arrive early, maybe it wouldn't be too busy and I could skate around for a bit without any trouble. I was so terribly wrong. I had collisions with 4 different skaters, maybe those were my fault, maybe I wasn't paying attention very well, maybe it was their fault. I'm ready to let it go, but I'm on edge. I decided to drop into the pool because it's one of very few spots at a skate park you go on at a time. So I got in there, I started skating in circles just trying to get the feel for this pool, warming up too. Then this kid, who we will call Kyle, started yelling at me from the top of the pool. Whatever. I've only been in the pool for a moment, I know it's still my turn. Still though, this kid, I can clearly make out every word he's yelling. Get out of the pool, you douche! This park is for good skaters. I need to warm up so I can win the contest that local board shop is hosting. You suck. You clearly can't do any tricks. You have no shot at winning. Whatever, I think to myself, I hate it here. Time to stop skating and just socialize. I pop out of the ball by Kyle and he pushes me. Locals only, jerk. Don't let me see you step on that board again in my park. Whatever, kid, I'll leave you to it. I go to put my board away when my revenge plan kicks into gear. I own a skate company, and everyone seems to think skate companies sponsor anyone who can kickflip. So I figure I'm going to let it leak around the park that I'm here scouting talent to recruit to my team. I go and cheer a few kids as they do their super basic tricks. I call them over one at a time to tell them I am here scouting talent. Sure enough, within half an hour, kids all over the park are coming to me to introduce themselves, asking me to pay special attention, what company I represent, what sponsorship requirements are, and that kind of stuff. At this point, even if my plan fails, I've just created a ton of buzz at this contest and everyone is talking about me and my company. Somewhere in the mix though, Kyle comes to talk to me. Hey, look man, I'm sorry about earlier. I didn't mean to yell at you, I was excited, that's all. Look, I get it, so I'm going to give you another chance. You said you were competing, right? Yeah, I am here to destroy these losers. Alright, listen. I saw you skating around a bit while I was talking to people. You're really good, exactly the level of skating we need for someone on our team. I plan on keeping an eye on you. Do not disappoint me. What's your name, by the way? My name is Kyle. And heck yeah, bro. You know I got this on lock. Kyle actually was a very talented skater in case you're wondering. I had no plans of actually recruiting him or anybody, but he was good. A little time goes by and the contest starts. We start by doing the best trick on the A-frame. This is an A-frame so you can visualize. There is absolutely no coordination on who goes when the guys from the shop just tell them to go and start calling out tricks they see on their megaphone. I started closely filming Kyle. Sure enough, he's skating the contest like the douche he was being earlier, yelling at people and pushing them out of the way, and he even hit a guy with his board. I get every single confrontation on video. I thought about sharing the video, but again, we don't need a witch hunt. Kyle ends up doing pretty well, landing third place with a big flip over the A-frame. I couldn't find a video of a big flip, but here is a bigger flip. A big flip is a kickflip with a 360-degree board rotation and a 180-degree body rotation. It's an impressive trick. Somehow, he got beat by a kid that did a tail slide, and someone who did a kickflip into a board slide. I say, hey Kyle, I saw your big flip over the A-frame. That's a hard trick and I'm impressed. You got anything special planned for the next contest? LOL, it's called skate, you idiot. It's like horse but for skateboarding. Hell yeah, I got something. Me, annoyed, because I know exactly what a game of skate is. Yeah, anyways, I'm excited to see what you can do. The rounds of skate start and we do a single elimination bracket. I'm still aggressively watching and filming everything Kyle does. Every time his competitor misses a trick, he makes fun of them. Every time they go to throw a trick, he yells something totally obscene to throw out their concentration. Every time he makes a trick, he does a mini celebration. And every time he misses a trick, he blames his competitor and pushes them. You know, because, well, it's their fault, he couldn't land it. He ends up getting knocked out in the third round. He throws his board across the park and it almost hits someone. And he storms off for a bit. When he comes back, I congratulate him on getting so far. Good job getting to the third round. I really liked some of those tricks you had. I got a lot of them on camera, and I will edit all the film from the day and show you later. Whatever, that jerk that beat me cheated. Everybody knows you're not allowed to do body varials. Well, get him in the next event. Oh yeah, bro, I got that race on lockdown. It seriously irritates me when people use cuss words as filler for normal conversation. I just want to say I'm annoyed with him and how he speaks. I'm sure he chalked up my visible frustration to him losing though, because that's how Kyle's are. The next event is a race around the park. Simple. Best time wins. Kyle isn't even close to being a contender on this one. He's slow, he isn't hitting obstacles correctly, and it seems like all this pressure I'm putting on him is really getting to him. He shoved some people out of the way so he could be one of the first to go too. So he had to watch as 10 to 15 people just crushed his time. Every time someone looks like they are going to be doing better than him, he starts yelling at them and screaming. He even threw sand on the course, probably so people would slide on it. I'm not really sure what his goal was, but it failed. I decided I'm going to make an excuse for him on this one so he has an easy cop-out, but also thinks that I'm on his side. I say, "Bro, looks like you need some more bearings. You kept losing all the speed, but your form was great." "Yeah, bro, but my mom is being a witch and won't replace these crap bearings. Screw her." "Well, listen, man, I gotta go grab something real quick. Company emergency. I'll be here in like an hour when I get back." "Will you be here in like an hour when I get back?" "Of course, dog." That's one more event I didn't bother to watch. I already had what I wanted, so I start going through all these videos of Kyle. And I make an edit of every time he screamed that someone cheated in an event or had poor sportsmanship. That's like 10 minutes of him yelling at people and being a jerk, all edited into one super edit. I also grab lunch because, well, food, you know. I get back to the park and I grab a brand new deck out of my car, just a prop. As I walk into it, I wave Kyle to come over to me. Looks like all the events are over, and the shop I came to see is just socializing with skaters. "Oh, no way! Is that for me? I got the spot!" Hey, yeah, so come check out this video. I want to show you exactly what I was paying attention to the entire time you were skating. I show Kyle the video. It opens with his bigger flip, then it proceeds to show him just being a jerk. He makes excuses throughout the whole video. He tells me at several points he didn't mean it. It was a mistake. Typical loser stuff. I tell him, "Here is the deal. I love how you skate, but I expect better behavior out of any rider who might come ride for DJ Skate. If you go find all of these skaters and make up with them before I leave, we have a spot on the team for you. These losers admire me. They will be ecstatic to see me on your team." "Alright, well, when you make up with them, tell them to come to see me. I want to hear from them that they are cool with you." I go hang out with the shop owners for a bit. I point out everyone at the contest riding one of my boards and how they should carry my deck because their audience is skating for them. After a few minutes, Kyle comes up holding this little kid by his ear. "Tell him we're cool right now or I will rip your ear off." The poor kid says, "Yeah, what he said. We're cool, we're cool." I wave him off and he goes back out. But now I'm watching him bully all these kids into coming over and saying we're cool. The shop asks me what it's about and I tell them how I said we couldn't sponsor anyone that behaves that way, and that he wanted to be sponsored. They agree, and we just watch in awe as Kyle gets worse and worse. Finally, one of the kids bigger than him seems to refuse the apology, and the fight breaks out. I rush over to break it up, but Kyle has already had his face beaten in by this kid. The kid yells about how no one likes him and how there is no way he would ever tell anybody for any reason to sponsor him. Kyle, crying and sniffling, "Look, DJ Skate, I tried to apologize and he beat me up. I didn't do anything wrong to him." I say, "Oh, don't worry, I saw the whole thing. The guys at the shop saw too. We know exactly what happened." I don't know yet, but that very familiar sound of sirens goes off in the background. I didn't think anything of it until the police rushed past me and started pinning guys to the ground. The police officer asks, "What's happened?" One at a time. Kyle, lying, "I was just skating, minding my own business, and this guy beat me up. I didn't do anything to deserve it." The kid who beat up Kyle, "Not even, you came over here shoving us, telling us how we have to apologize to you for cheating in the contest and to go tell that guy we're cool so he can get sponsored. They go back and forth and the police finally come to me. Is that true? Did you tell him you'd sponsor him if he made up with everyone here? Oh boy, do I have a video for you guys. I show the police how he's been pushing people and yelling at everyone all day. And I explain how this kid just decided he had enough and fought back to protect himself. They walk Kyle out in cuffs, and I don't even need to tell him he didn't get the sponsorship. The police checked with everyone who came to tell me they were cool with Kyle to make sure he didn't hurt them too badly. They also check with some people in the video and get everyone's contact information. They start asking people older than 18 if they want to push charges and start calling the parents of the younger kids to ask of the same thing. A few people let it go, but at least 10 people want to push charges on Kyle. The police asked for my video as well as raw footage, and I emailed it all to them. He also spends a painstaking amount of time recording my phone while the video plays using his chest cam. Took like an hour of me just waiting to get my phone back. At this point, the shop is packed up and heading out, promising once again to answer my email with whatever or not they want to buy. With whether or not they want to buy. I am not going to bother to keep up with Kyle, but I'm sure he'll be getting some jail time for that fight. The kid that beat him up seemed to be in trouble too. Edit. When I say Kyle was a kid, some of you seem to think like 13 or under. That is very wrong. Kyle was 17 or 18. The kid who beat up Kyle was also 17 or 18. Years ago, I was a product manager in a small company. I'd moved to the job from a purely technical role and had a working knowledge of data analysis and statistics. Every year, one of our jobs was to prepare a sales forecast based on a company-driven sales goal, example like 5% increase for next year. This was back in the green bar line printed paper days, so any analysis was done by manually entering a metric ton of data into Lotus 123. What? Yes, I'm that old. As an aside, the sales forecast drove manufacturing resource allocation and employee higher levels, so it was kinda sorta important to get it right. So hours of transcription later, I had 4 or 5 years of sales data for each product line in a way I could review. Turns out sales rates were totally random. We had no summer surge or winter doldrums. If some big customer popped an order, sales went up, otherwise they tended to oscillate around a monthly average. I took the historical data, combined it with a target increase and sent the forecast off to my manager. There is no cycling in the forecast. Well, no, our sales are basically static across a year. But there is no cycle in the forecast. There has to be cycles. We went round and round a bit and he essentially told me to redo the forecast to be cyclic. Okay. Lotus 123 to the rescue. Below each monthly total I stuffed in a random function and then a total for the year so I could compare it to the target for the year, refresh, 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 until I got a cycle and the totals matched. Print into boss. Good job, dude. 2 kickers. The year-end totals pretty much matched my no-cycle forecast. The manufacturing plant knew that the data was essentially flat. They had been doing this for a long time, and also knew that marketing was full of folks who wouldn't know data if it bit them in the butt. So they just built what they knew they would need to build. Good times, good times.
And now we have reached the end of today's stories. Thank you for watching and see you next time.